Hey everybody, welcome back. This is Spencer here with the third installment of the Lightroom workflow tutorial. If you haven't checked out the first two episodes on selecting your photos you want to work with and doing some general edits, I recommend you go back and watch those two before you finish up the rest of this one. We've already applied our base edits to this photo. You can see over here in the sliders. A couple other things, you don't really need to work on many things over here on these other things unless you're really getting super specific. You can go down to lens corrections, detail, effects, whatever. The only thing I'd typically go down and use if I'm going to edit a photo this deeply in Lightroom is the post-crop vignetting, but this photo is mostly black anyway, and so using the white vignette is kind of strange unless you just really enjoy that. So you can do that if you want to. I'm going to show you how to do kind of your own vignette if you want to, using the brush if you don't like how that's going there. And again, for most of those things you can use that stuff in Lightroom, but I would prefer just to use a lot of it in Photoshop unless I'm correcting some skin tone and things like that using the hue and saturation. And there'll be another video about correcting skin tone later. You can check that one out. So here we got this photo, and I really like how this photo turned out, but I think I would want to put it in black and white. So what I'm going to do, instead of just converting this specific photo to black and white and you losing the color file, what I'm going to do is I'm going to right click on that photo and then I'm going to go to create a virtual copy. And all that does is create another one of those. Alright, it's not in your hard drive, it's not in the original folder that you brought in from Lightroom, brought in from your computer or your hard drive or your memory card or whatever it was that you're using. It's only here in this Lightroom catalog. So you're going to, whenever you export, you're going to have to make sure you select that one too to export and then create that file for it. So here we are. It doesn't matter which one we're selecting. I'm just going to select the one that we created for the virtual copy. Lightroom comes with presets up here. I haven't yet imported all of my presets that I have on my new computer, but typically what I would do is I would go through here, and again I use this handy box up here, or like I mentioned in the previous video, if you have another external monitor to use to set up with this, that is a super handy thing to have, especially if it's color calibrated. So what I would typically do is run through all of these. I don't really like most of the filters that Lightroom provides. They're just not very good. Again, I'm looking at that preview. That one doesn't look too bad. I'll click on that. And typically I only use presets as a place to start. So that doesn't look too bad either. I'm just kind of going through looking at these. A lot of them make your photo look really strange. You can see that preview up there. That one looks pretty nice. A little bit more contrasty. You can see over here they have the contrast and the clarity both by 25. And then they have kind of your Instagram filters over here. Antique, if you want to do sepia for some reason unknown to me or anybody else in the photography world. Again, just kind of pick one, or you can download some presets. Visco makes a lot of great presets that are super popular right now. So again, I'm just going to select this one. It's kind of more of a blank slate, and that's what I want here to really kind of hone in on my black and white. So we've created our virtual copy. We've just kind of applied that, or you can just click on black and white up here. I like to have more of a general, better place to start. So we're going to start there and then start moving the sliders a little bit. So let's add a little bit of contrast. The whole photo looks a little bit cold, so you can still, even though it's black and white, you can still change the white balance, which is a nice and handy thing to know. I wish somebody would have told me that a long time ago. It would have saved a lot of headache. Pull the shadows back down because I want more of a kind of a mysterious look. Highlights down just a hair to right there. Let's boost up our clarity just a touch. That's good. And then bring our blacks down. Alright, so and that was pretty close to a finished product of what I really want that photo to look like. And it has varying highlights and shadows. This is really what I was going for here. He's going to use a lot of these for promotional type things, maybe some album art, maybe some general headshot type things. So I want to provide some more artistic flair, something that he can say, hey, this is kind of me, this is my brand that I'm working towards, along with providing this. It's always great to include color as well, unless something just is really so far off color wise that you can't use it and you just really have to leave it in black and white. That happens. Things happen. We aren't perfect, we're just photographers, all right, trying to make it. And there's something that I really want you guys to realize that took me forever, is there are no set rules in photography. If you see something and want to do something and you have a creative process behind it and a valid reason behind it, do it. Don't worry about breaking rules of photography. I break them all the time. For example, pull this up. Rule of thirds. It's his ear, maybe? There's nothing there, but this is how I want it to look. This is my artistic vision that I had here for this photo, and that's just what makes sense to me. So don't be so concerned with getting things exactly right, with being a quote-unquote great photographer. Don't worry about that. Have your creative vision, your artistic vision, and then do what you need to execute that. It's not easy, all right? I don't want you to think that just because you don't have to follow rules that makes everything in this process easy. It takes time and it takes a lot of work, but know that there's not a whole lot of pressure on you to make things look a certain way, or make sure that you have to have everything color balanced perfectly and make sure your tone curves up here in this area are just perfect. Don't worry about those, all right? Just worry about your creative vision and creating something that you are happy with. Thanks, guys. Make sure you stay tuned for more videos. Can't wait to see you guys next time.